So here's the big question. How do you sell heavy-duty parts in a digital world? That's the question, and this is the place where you're going to find the answers. My name is Jamie Irvin, and we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to another live stream. It is Thursday, September the 30th. Can you believe it? Q4 begins tomorrow. 2021 is almost in the books. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Jamie Irvin Live, the place where we go after answering that one big question. How do you sell heavy duty parts in a digital world? Now, before we go any further, I just wanted to mention that this live stream is sponsored by my podcast, The Heavy Duty Parts Report. If you'd like to go check out our weekly podcast interview, head over to heavydutypartsreport.com. You can subscribe or follow the show there for free. So please do that. With all of our live streams as well, we want you to participate in the conversation. So feel free to comment or ask questions. I'll do what I can to answer your questions and respond to your comments. Today, we're going to focus in on a specific aspect of running advertising campaigns, specifically how to sell heavy-duty parts using LinkedIn ads. Now, in recent episodes of this live stream, we've talked about other ad products and the pros and cons. We're going to kind of go through that today, but I've also got a case study where I compared LinkedIn results to Facebook results that I'm excited to share with you rather. Sorry. So first thing I wanted to mention is just how powerful the LinkedIn platform is, even if you're not using their ad products. So to give you an example, I have spent the last couple years really focused on creating a lot of content on LinkedIn. We post every day to our business page. We post every day to my personal profile, and we've made a concerted effort to grow our audience on both, and we've been quite successful. What is really amazing to me is when I look at my website and I look at the analytics and I say, where does traffic to my site come from? 24% of my total website traffic is coming from the organic posts that I do on my personal profile on LinkedIn and my LinkedIn business page. So almost 1/4 of my total website traffic is coming from people seeing our social media posts and clicking on links and going to the site and checking out our content. That is all. It's not free because organic traffic is not free. It takes a lot of time and effort to create content, but it is comes without a price tag specifically associated with the post. So it's different than buying attention using an ad. Now, there's a time and place for everything. So the reason I tell you about where my traffic is coming from and how much of it is coming from LinkedIn is because before you even start thinking about doing LinkedIn ads, I think it is very good to build up as much traffic and as much attention on LinkedIn as possible by just posting content regularly. Once you build up your personal profile, once you build up your company's business page, you've got enough followers, people are engaging with your content, they're seeing it. Once you've done all of that work and you've laid that foundation, you then can use the LinkedIn ad products to expand on what you're already doing. And that's the stage that I'm at now on my journey with the Heavy Duty Parts Report. So let's talk about the campaign manager inside of LinkedIn. You've got to have your business page set up. You connect you go through the process of setting up your campaign manager, putting in your credit card, all that kind of information. And then you're ready to create some ads. You're ready to spend some money to get LinkedIn to boost your ads so that more people see what you do. Okay, so there's two ways of boosting content. So one, you can do a social media post and then you can boost that post so that more people see it. Or you can create a standalone ad that shows up in people's feeds that points them directly to your website as one metric. And I really like that form of advertising because you're taking people off of a social platform that you don't control, and you're introducing them to your ecosystem where if they sign up or interact with you and you collect their contact information, they now are on a platform that you control. And so no matter what happens with algorithms and changes with the internet and with social platforms, you have that contact information. You can then reach out via telephone, email, and you're in complete control of that. So I like that form of advertising. Now I boost content as well sometimes. On LinkedIn, not very often because it actually is quite expensive to boost content. But when it comes to running a ad that is kind of a standalone ad that just gets people to go to a landing page, your website, the results were very interesting. So I ran a 7-day campaign on LinkedIn and I ran a 7-day campaign on Facebook, and I want to now give you the results. So here are the results. On LinkedIn, the 7-day campaign cost me $80.66. I got 2,975 impressions. That's people seeing my ad. And I got 39 people who clicked the ad and visited my website. Uh, when they did that, when they actually did and clicked on the ad and visited my site, I got charged $2.06 for each click. And so that's how it added up to $80.66. Now, one interesting thing is that LinkedIn will tell you what the CPM is, the cost per thousand impressions. And it's coming in at $27.11. So you can do a little bit of math here, and you can figure out that if you were to scale it, what kind of results would you get? So, for example, for me, I am looking at those 39 new visitors to my site, and I'm saying, how much of those, you know, how can I monetize those 39 visitors who responded to my ad this week? I've just spent $80. What kind of monetization can I achieve with those website visitors who came from my LinkedIn ad? And then after spending $100, I can then look at the math. And if it makes sense, I can then spend $1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000. As long as the monetization and the profitability is there, you can basically scale infinitely. And as long as you maintain those ratios, you can do so without it actually costing you anything, because really at the end of the day, you are getting a ROI on those conversions. And as long as you're profitable, you can just keep scaling. Now, of course, there is a limit to any scale. And that's why you see people change up their advertising over time, because the same ads won't work forever. But now let's compare that to Facebook results. So I will tell you, boosting content on LinkedIn is quite expensive. On Facebook, very cheap. But when you're running an ad where you're pushing people to your website, the results were very, very different. So with Facebook, the 7-day average, it costs $33.58. That's a lot less money. It's almost $50 less. But the reason that it's less is because the results were much smaller. So I 4,835 people saw the ad, almost twice as many as on LinkedIn, but only 14 people click the ad. Whereas, like half of the amount of people on LinkedIn saw the ad, but almost double the amount of people actually click through and went to my site. So LinkedIn performed far better on converting, and the cost per click was virtually the same. So LinkedIn, it was $2.06 per click, and on Facebook, it was $2.40. The CPM is much higher. You're going to get a lot more impressions on Facebook by the looks of it, but you're not going to have as engaged of an audience. So LinkedIn for me is where my audience is. They're more engaged, they're more likely to respond. And so really at the end of the day, for me, after doing the split test, I've decided that I'm going to put more money into this form of LinkedIn advertising. Now, at the beginning of this live stream, I was talking a little bit about where traffic comes from organically through the social posts that I put on LinkedIn, and they go to my site. I told you how 24% of my organic traffic comes from people clicking links on content that I've made and posted on LinkedIn. There's a way to kind of close the loop, because that also, if 24% of my traffic comes from LinkedIn, that means that 76% of my traffic comes from other sources. But a lot of those people are going to be on LinkedIn as well. They're just not finding me on LinkedIn. So how do I get those people? Well, if you go inside your campaign manager, there's a place where you can set up some retargeting, and it is called website demographics. So inside of Campaign Manager on LinkedIn, there is a tab, website demographics. You can add the insight tag to your website. It's just a snippet of code that you get your developer to put on your site. And what that does is it takes people who have come to the site and it records who they are, their, at least their IP address. And then when they go on LinkedIn later, it cues LinkedIn to say, hey, show them your ad, because they were just on your site. Now they see your ad. And perhaps they've never seen your content on LinkedIn before, because of course they found your website through other sources. So this allows you to close the loop. And I'm going to start building custom audiences that way. I'm going to start running ads that way, just so that people who are on LinkedIn who haven't found me yet will be able to see some of my paid ads, and hopefully will recognize right away, oh, I know the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I was on their website a couple of days ago. And so then if they choose to then click that ad and go back to the site, then it kind of closes the loop. Also, we're hoping that they're going to follow our business page and they're going to reach out and connect to me directly. So the LinkedIn platform, the advertising, depending on what you choose, can be very expensive. Like I said, boosting content on Facebook is way cheaper than boosting content on LinkedIn. But running side by side advertisements that are just pointing people to your website seems like LinkedIn, for me anyway, is performing better. And this is what's really important with advertising products. You've got to split test. You've got to understand what works for you, where your customers are online, because we're not creating traffic. We're just walking into the river and putting our net into traffic that already exists. And hopefully we can attract some of the prospects and future customers that we are looking for. Now, for me, I'm a media company. My whole business model is around producing content, is around consulting services. But for you, if you're trying to sell heavy duty parts, then this is something that just, the formula is very basic. You set up a landing page on your website with a specific product, you put a big buy now button, and then you run some of these ads driving traffic to that page, and you set up all the pieces so that you get a bit of that positive feedback loop from multiple sources. And then you track your return on investment. How many products did you sell? How much advertising did you have to buy? And was it profitable? And you keep optimizing until you reach profitability. And that's why I don't recommend going out and spending like $5,000 all at once. It's like spend $100 and do some testing, and then spend another $100 and do some more testing. And once you start to understand the trends, you can start to add more and more of your budget to those areas that are starting to perform for you. And as long as those numbers hold consistent as you scale, you're going to see some really great return on investment. Now, there's a lot to this, admittedly. And if you'd like some help with your digital marketing strategy, that's what I do. I'm a consultant for heavy duty parts companies. So by all means, if you would like to work with me directly on your marketing and your digital strategy, email me, jamie@heavydutypartsreport.com. Very soon, this call to action is going to change actually to a landing page I've built that provides with a lot more information about what I do, but it's not quite ready yet. So in the meantime, just send me an email. I will get back to you. And hopefully we will have an opportunity to sit down together on a video call, talk about your specific situation, and we will see what I will be able to do to help you to sell more heavy duty parts online. So for the last, I've lost count, 20 plus weeks, we've been talking about this subject. And for Q4, for the next 90 days, we're going to start a new series on this live stream where we're going to talk about how to sell heavy duty parts by making your website perform better. So it's still following that theme of how to sell heavy duty parts in a digital world, but we're going to spend some really focused time on your website and getting your website to perform better. And so for the next few weeks, that's the subject that we're going to tackle. We're going to go super deep on that. I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much for watching today's live stream. We'll see you next week, and head over to heavydutypartsreport.com and follow our podcast. Okay, great. Talk to you later. Bye.